Silent Hollow, a town forgotten by time itself. Houses stood empty, windows like vacant eyes staring. People whispered about the mirror house on the hill. They said it was haunted. No one dared to go near it. Samantha loved a good ghost story. She travelled around, exploring spooky places for her online channel, Samantha's Ghostly Adventures. She'd heard the stories about the mirror house. Now she was here to see for herself. The house loomed over Samantha. It was dark and imposing. As she stepped inside, a chill ran down her spine. Dust lay thick on the floor. Cobwebs clung to every corner, and everywhere she looked there were mirrors. Whispers and shadows. A cold wind slammed a door shut. Samantha jumped. She could have sworn she heard whispers. Shadows seemed to dance at the edge of her vision. "This place is creepy," she whispered, her voice echoing in the silence. The endless hallway. Samantha walked down a long hallway. Mirrors lined the walls, each one reflecting another mirror. It seemed to go on forever. The air grew colder. Her breath formed clouds in front of her face. She felt a presence, something watching her. The dim light flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced on the walls. Each step echoed, amplifying the silence around her. She glanced at the mirrors, seeing not just her reflection but fleeting images of other faces, distorted and ghostly. The hallway seemed to twist and turn, playing tricks on her mind. She tried to remember how she got here, but her memory was hazy. The cold seeped into her bones, making her shiver. She quickened her pace, hoping to find an end, but the hallway stretched on. The feeling of being watched grew stronger, almost palpable. She could hear faint whispers, indistinct and haunting. Panic began to set in. Samantha knew she had to keep moving, but the endless mirrors and the oppressive atmosphere made her doubt if she would ever find a way out. The glowing mirror. At the end of the long, dimly lit hallway, Samantha found a room she had never seen before. The door creaked open, revealing a space filled with an eerie silence. In the center of the room stood a large, ornate mirror, its frame intricately carved with symbols she couldn't decipher. The mirror glowed with an unnatural light, casting strange shadows on the walls. Samantha felt an inexplicable pull towards it, as if it were calling her name. Her heart pounded in her chest, a mix of fear and curiosity. She took a hesitant step forward, her breath shallow and quick. As she approached, the glow intensified, illuminating her face with a ghostly light. Her fingers trembled as she reached out, the cold air around the mirror sending chills down her spine. Finally, she touched the cold glass, and a shiver ran through her entire body. What secrets did this mysterious mirror hold? She was about to find out. Trapped. Samantha froze. Her heart pounded in her chest, each beat echoing in the eerie silence of the room. She could feel the cold sweat trickling down her back as she stood there, paralyzed by fear. The dim light cast long, sinister shadows on the walls, making the room feel even more claustrophobic. She had never felt so alone, so vulnerable. The reflection in the mirror wasn't her. It was smiling, a cruel, cold smile that sent shivers down her spine. She stared at it, unable to comprehend what she was seeing. The eyes in the reflection glowed with a malevolent light, and the smile seemed to widen with each passing second. It was as if the reflection was mocking her, enjoying her terror. She tried to pull away, but it was too late. The reflection reached out, its icy fingers closing around her wrist. The touch was like a jolt of electricity, freezing her in place. She struggled, pulling with all her might, but the grip only tightened. The reflection's eyes bore into hers, and she could feel its cold breath on her skin. It was as if the mirror had come to life, and it was determined to drag her into its dark depths. Samantha screamed. The reflection was pulling her in, trapping her in the mirror world. Her screams echoed in the room, but there was no one to hear them. She could feel herself being pulled closer and closer to the glass, her body becoming lighter as if she was losing her grip on reality. The reflection's smile grew wider, and its eyes glowed brighter. She was being consumed by the darkness, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. And then, silence. The only sound was the soft, sinister laughter echoing from the other side of the glass. It was a sound that chilled her to the bone, a reminder of the horror she had just experienced. The room was empty now, but the atmosphere was still thick with fear. The mirror stood there, reflecting nothing but darkness. It was as if the room itself was holding its breath, waiting for the next victim to fall into its trap. The house on the hill stood silent, its secret safe within its mirrored walls. It had seen many such nights, many such victims. The old house was a place of nightmares, a place where reality and illusion blurred. Its dark windows seemed to watch over the town below, hiding the horrors within. The house was a prison and its mirrors were the bars. And somewhere within its walls, Samantha's reflection still smiled, waiting for the next soul to trap.